All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a cast. This game is going to be between Happy and Dice, taking place here on Concealed Hill. Happy spawning as the blue undead on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the top right, we have Dice spawning as the yellow night elf. Game getting underway here. Night elf versus undead in this 1v1 matchup. Alright, what can we expect to see here? Keeper of the Grove, perhaps interested in coming out to play. I am expecting a Demon Hunter, either as the first or second hero, to try and keep those undead heroes in check. Mana Burn, extremely effective at obviously removing mana on that Death Knight, Lich, and potential Dark Ranger or Naga Sea Witch as that third and final hero. Meanwhile, however, the Keeper of the Grove generally has a better time pacing that game early on, being able to get to level 3 by itself while putting in a bit of harassment and then allowing the Demon Hunter to perhaps creep by itself a little bit later. All viable options and strategies, as Happy is opting to go for that classic Death Knight first. Back off to the north, we are going for a Demon Hunter coming across by Dice. And with that Demon Hunter, he will be able to get some early mana burns, perhaps cause a bit of disruption and planning as he tries to get that Demon Hunter to level 3 quickly. Now, we are on Concealed Hill, one of my favorite maps for quite a few reasons. There are these fountains of health off to the side, so there are places and options to try and heal. Concealed Hill, however, the big thing was the introduction of an odd number of creep camps. This creep camp here in the center portion of the map ends up becoming a very big focal point in the game because, once the gold mines on the expansions run out of gold, whoever is able to capture that position and hold on to it tends to build up a bit of a lead. Whenever there are points of interest on the map that you're trying to take, that's what makes these real-time strategy games a bit more interesting rather than just trying to hold up in your base and perhaps get cheese or little war of attrition, something where you actually have to venture forth and capture. Down to the south side here, we're looking at skeletal minions cleaning up these sea turtles. Death Knight now making its rounds back down across. He's sold a Scroll of Town Portal and picked up a Circlet of Nobility. I'm seeing more and more players actually buying that Circlet of Nobility from the Goblin Merchant Shop now that it's been removed from the drop table from creeps. Meanwhile, coming back around here, Demon Hunter sitting at level 1, gonna try and go after this Death Knight across here. Perhaps even get a mana burn or two. Nope, no mana burn, just a quick swipe right there. The Demon Hunter has not trained up any ability as of yet. Perhaps waiting for a Death Coil. This low hit point Ghoul taking quite a bit of damage, and still no Death Coil as of yet, even though it is down to 152 hit points. Low hit point Ghoul now trying to retreat back. Demon Hunter playing this game of chicken with these ghouls here as the Demon Hunter does get to level 2. Alright, creeping away from the action while the Demon Hunter is, well, preventing that Death Knight from getting level 2 and grabbing that Unholy Aura. Alright, are we going to see some aggroing of those creeps? We are Death Knight pulling back on the Blight. No Nerubian Tower here to keep those units within range here as the Demon Hunter now perhaps trying to come back around on the far side. Alright, couple of ghouls are going to surround this Ogre Warrior very easily. Death Knight, however, still going to be shy of level 2, but it does pick up a Ring of Protection +4 and quickly sells it off at the Tomb of Relics. Alright, I guess really not worth saving right there. We're going to be a mana burn. There's a detonation. Level 2 now on that Death Knight Death Coil across here as the Demon Hunter going to pick up Immolation as that second ability. Immolation going to be going to be dropping a lot of damage across those units. Demon Hunter down to 67 hit points and now quickly turns off the Immolation there. Interesting call to use Immolation and allow damage to be continually dealt to all of those units there. It was a high number of units attempting to surround, but well, Blight is going to take care of all of those lost hit points. as we head back off to the north here. A couple of crab rippers, demon hunter trying to deal a little bit of damage. There's a dust of appearance. Archer now trying to escape away. Is it going to get taken down? I believe so. One easy shot right there. Death Knight trying to get in front here, and then ensnare by the creeps, allowing the forcing the demon hunter to deny that archer. Meanwhile, we're still looking at a lot of, go wide units, ghouls and skeletal minions attempting to take the Murloc Huntsman and perhaps try and get up to level 3. Now, a lot of players will tell you this, getting immolation early on, as powerful as it is, does tend to cause a bit of mana problems. All right, Demon Hunter trying to go after that Death Knight. Death Knight with boots of speed. Archer getting in harm's way. Happy, is he going to be in trouble? One more shot. Oh, yes, he does get taken down. Death Knight falls at level 2. If you remember earlier, that Death Knight did sell that Scroll of Town Portal. Selling that Scroll of Town Portal actually comes back to haunt, as the Death Knight now being forced to resurrect at the tavern. Gonna be low on hit points, low on mana, but he doesn't want to miss out on the time creeping in order to gain experience. All right, this little bit of a win here. What's going to happen? Naga Sea Witch perhaps going to try and, pull this Ogre Warrior in position here, and now perhaps get a potential surround as well. All right, trying to draw him in, and now here we go. That Demon Hunter, walling in that Ogre Lord in position. That is going to be pelting, taking a lot of damage. A Shockwave does rip through, and Snare does go down, but the Demon Hunter going to have a very easy time finishing things off, picking up a Medallion of Courage, plus 5 Strength and Intelligence. Mana burn on that illusion. That Death Knight illusion simply just going to wander around here, aggro those creeps, as the Naga Sea Witch realizes that Death Knight that he was targeting was not the real one. Alright, more damage getting racked up here. Archer trying to regain some hit points at the Moonwells, does in fact get that, as we see another Naga Sea Witch out on the battlefield by Happy. No Staff of Preservation. That's going to be a problem, as the Demon Hunter, is trying to protect this Naga Sea Witch, who has, crawled her way into a corner. All right, a little bit of a problem. Archers now trying to return the favor. Says, you know what, one good dead Naga Sea Witch deserves another, and that's what we have here. Another downed Naga Sea Witch, as archers are just draining these Moonwells during the day now in order to try and stay alive. All right, there goes another skeletal minion again. There goes another death coil, as the Death Knight now looking to retreat back. Hello, Dustwallow Dweller. Thanks for tuning in. We are going to be going into the Naga Sea Witch resurrection. Both sides resurrecting that Naga Sea Witch quickly. Level 1 heroes really not down and out for the count all that much. Meanwhile, Giant Sea Turtle going to get cleaned up 4-2-2. Creep Camp will be cleared, picking up a Gauntlet of Ogre Strength plus 3. And interestingly enough, adding Druids of the Talon as the as that second as a supporting unit. Now, I do like this addition of Druids of the Talon, especially now that they deal piercing damage, and that piercing damage really does outrange those destroyers as well. Death Knight going to be coming back across. Perhaps he's suspecting something there. There's the Death Coil, and the Death Knight picks up the Talisman of Evasion. A couple of kobolds will get taken down, as we see the Gnoll Assassin trying to share all of that poison across multiple units. All right, level 2 now on that Naga Sea Witch. Meanwhile, Naga Sea Witch down to the south also getting to level 2. Boots of speed and, relatively low on mana. Death Knight may want to regroup, as we are looking at tier 3 nearly completed. That should introduce a Lich with an Orb of Corruption as well. Now, as these Druids of the Talon gain more and more mana, we are at Tree of Eternity. We are going for a Druid of the Talon mastery training, but I'm curious as to how this is really all going to unfold. Magic damage does work well against all of these ghouls and skeletal minions, but it's a very easy transition to pump out, to go from, ghouls to Crypt Fiends. Those Crypt Fiends with that slower rate of attack, but very high damage, bodes well for those types of hit and run tactics. You launch one attack and then you kind of walk away and then you launch again. Meanwhile, these Druids of the Talon, they're probably often getting one hit in as well when those Crypt Fiends are also getting one hit. And well, as games have shown, that generally favors the slower attacking, harder hitting types of units. Coming back around, and Demon Hunter going to go ahead and clear up some of these units here. Druids of the Talon do have mastery training here. This red Drake is absorbing quite a bit of damage. Perhaps we're going to see some negative armor coupled with, yes, well, that's Healing Spray, not Acid Bomb, and now Vampiric Aura for this Demon Hunter. If Dise wins, Dise will be happy. So if it's a win-win for a happy, that is true. I will say that. No matter, well, yep. If Dise wins, Dise will be happy. So the happy player will win. I guess that's another way to say it. I was trying to make sure I didn't like cross up my words there. All right. Death Knight does get up to level 4. Naga Sea Witch is up to 3. Lich, brand new out on the battlefield. This Naga Sea Witch will get to level 3. This Alchemist should get to level 2. A double level up there. And the question is it going to be Acid Bomb? Yes, it is. So we are looking at Druids of the Talon with Fairy Fire coupled with Acid Bomb. That's going to be a large amount of negative armor, opening up damage for those for the remaining units to deal. Now, one of the big questions to note is we are looking at level 2 Fork Lightning, so the Naga Sea Witch does have a way of finishing off multiple units when units do become low on hit points. We are looking at a Tree of Life being built off to the north by Dise for a potential expansion, as we are at 48 supply compared to 47. I'm quite lost on the meta. What's the Sea Witch used for mostly? Cold arrows at level 1, ensuring that you're able to pick off fleeing units, and then that Fork Lightning to try and get in a bit of burst damage across multiple units here. Naga Sea Witch, however, could be in a little bit of trouble. Demon Hunter does not have a Staff of Preservation. Instead, we see Cyclone used up there, and the Destroyers are going to be able to devour magic pretty quickly and cancel that there. We are looking also at some Fairy Dragons as well to try and combat against those Obsidian statues, but the Druids of the Talon, the big key takeaway is going to be that piercing damage. Are they going to be able to actually get into piercing form, though? That is the question. All right, Mana Flare for that Fairy Dragon Force. Well, Frost Nova, you see that, well, Fork Lightning right there used as a combination. Meanwhile, more healing getting underway as the ghouls are going to be able to finish off many of these low hit point, the Druids of the Talon are going to be able to finish off those low hit point ghouls. Remember, they only have 340 hit points. Add in Fairy Fire and magic damage, and suddenly that damage just seems to just balloon up very quickly. All right, more damage coming back across. Low hit point ghoul. There's a roar right there in the back. Now both sides trying to engage. Naga Sea Witch trying to pull back here, and this engagement just absolute looking back and forth. More healing spray coming back across. Low hit point ghouls as the transition on those ghouls going to slowly get taken down. We're going to be seeing only Crypt Fiends and no more heavy armored units left. All right, 2 Destroyers in the air, and the Druids of the Talon could easily just transform into their Druid form now, and now actually go after these Destroyers. They would be much stronger, maybe have a bit more hit points, I believe, as well, but more importantly, have strong piercing damage against these Destroyers here. More Devour Magic, and there is another Death Coil there. Demon Hunter trying to chase after all of these units as well. Are the Druids of the Talon going to go to the skies? No, they are not. Dise is actually chasing, even though he has the smaller army by far. Healing Spray coming back around, 174 hit points, and the Alchemist could be in a little bit of trouble. Staff of Preservation transfer save. Demon Hunter now going to be in a little bit of trouble. Naga Sea Witch, are we going to see a transfer save here? Perhaps a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability? No, doesn't have the time there. There's going to be a Cold Arrow. Are we going to see a little bit of damage as the Demon Hunter down to 65 hit points, and he's able to escape away at 60. Druid of the Talon, however, not going to be as lucky as the units retreat back. Frost Arrows work on those annoying and great outdoors. Well, yeah. healing spray being used there, clarity potion. Alchemist should have been part of that healing party as well. Not quite sure why it wasn't. Well, also used up a bit of that Moonwell juice in the process. Demon Hunter getting healed up nicely here. Naga Sea Witch also with an orb of venom. So all three, Alchemist can already attack those destroyers. Demon Hunter can now attack the destroyers, and we may be looking at an orb of venom as well by the Alchemist. Triple orb of venom does deal significant damage over time, opening things up for the Naga Sea Witch to get in a fork lightning as well. And well, also makes sense that the Naga Sea Witch is not going to be using those cold arrows unless necessary. All right, that's a good question. Whether or not once a unit is a cyclone, well, they're technically invulnerable, so I believe they can still be healed. Dice off to the north here. Oh, there's a fairy. I guess. I think that was a Fork Lightning coupled with a Staff of Preservation. Naga Sea Witch, well, a little bit of damage. Are the Druids of the Talon going to actually go to the skies here, try to engage? Going up against these Crypt Fiends are not a good call, and Dice is going to be in some serious trouble as he now finally takes to the skies. And the Druids of the Talon don't actually gain additional hit points while they are in their combat mode, like what Druids of the Claw do. Naga Sea Witch now going to be up in the air here, both sides fighting their way through, trying to poke apart each other's units. As we see at level 4 now, Naga Sea Witch by Happy. All right, Naga Sea Witch of Dice still sitting at level 2. Both sides fighting their way. 46 supply compared to 50. But remember, Dice does have a bit more workers since he does have an Expo. All right, trying to finish off these remaining units. Druids of the Talon showing up to the party. Perhaps going to try and take down some of these units here. But Happy is just keeping his army mainly together and going to be able to pick off these lower hit point Druids of the Talon archers and unit there. All right. Meanwhile, the three heroes, the ones that should be leading the charge, actually leaving all of those lower tiered units by themselves. Crypt Fiend does get taken down. Naga Sea Witch could be in a little bit of trouble, trying to get in some fights again once more, as the Druids of the Talon could be going to the skies to try and take down the destroyers, as the destroyers seem to be unchallenged. There goes another Crypt Fiend again, and you can see this damage over time just really starting to take a big toll, losing control of the Lich, trying to double back off to the north as the Alchemist gets Staff of Preservation back home during his healing spray in order to stay alive. All right, more damage over time. You can see that destroyer down to 188, 163 hit points, continuing to drop because of that orb of venom. All right, Naga Sea Witch, is he going to try and do a little bit of Staff of Preservation save there? We are looking at the Naga Sea Witch. There's a Staff of Preservation to the very back, getting him some, further distance. All right, there's that healing spray across multiple Druids of the Talon, even though it was the Demon Hunter who needed the majority of that. I don't believe I saw the Demon Hunter drop that Strength of Intelligence, that Medallion of Courage, and pick it back up. And the Expo is now taken down off to the north. Death Knight up to level 5. There's a mana burn. The mana burn a split second late there as the Demon Hunter trying to get healed back up, trying to go after the Lich. There's a Staff of Preservation for the save. Druids of the Talon going to go ahead and Cyclone. However, Destroyer is up in the air, already cleaning things up. Are we going to perhaps see some damage? Staff of Teleportation inbound. Demon Hunter going to try to get in a little bit more damage, perhaps go after that Lich again, but the Lich doesn't have that much mana. Perhaps could have gone after the Obsidian statue with a volley or two from the Druids of Town to finish off the glue that's holding the army together. Heroes currently up in the air. However, Destroyer quickly going to devour that magic once again. And while there are Destroyers in the air and or Obsidian statues on the ground, Cyclone should not be the priority, but it looks as though a Lich could end up getting taken down. Yes, there's a body block there, as another one of Happy's Naga Sea Witch could get taken out here in just a moment, trying to chase after enemy heroes. Demon Hunter down to 180 hit points. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation? Of course we are, as the Chemical Raging Alchemist now going after this Naga Sea Witch. All right, Naga Sea Witch has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Alchemist gets bursted down by a Death Coil. And now we're looking at 45 supply compared to 40. Happy still with a large bank of gold, 900 gold right now, with a with a supply or a gold bank advantage, as the heroes try to back off again. Light, normal, heavy armor names are bad. I suggest scout armor, guard armor, battle armor. I don't know. Like, the fact that there are multiple types of armor is just something that you gotta try and remember. And it really makes me wonder what the next round of real-time strategy games are going to be will be trying to do for armor. Druids of the Talon, 11 to 13 damage, but their attacks just are not fast enough compared to the slower hitting but harder hitting Crypt Fiends. Those Crypt Fiends also dealing bonus damage per attack against the unarmored Druids of the Talon. So take extra damage from piercing and siege. Meanwhile, these Crypt Fiends take reduced damage from magic. So yeah, two armor types making a very big deal here. Let's just go ahead and say that. Also, one thing to note, the Druids of the Talon, if they are supposed to be anti-air, I don't understand. Give them a different type of armor while they're in the air, in that anti-air mode, since most anti-air is, piercing. I don't know. Giving them heavy armor while in the air would protect them from Crypt Fiends, and the fact that the Druids of the Talon are air-to-air only wouldn't make them that big of a harassment for them on the ground. But then, the Destroyers would actually be dealing bonus damage to them, so I guess that's a bit tough as well. If heavy gets resistance to piercing, heavy getting resistance to piercing isn't necessarily what you want either, because riflemen trying to deal bonus damage to, say, like grunts and taurens because they're ranged, and while they're being protected by the front line, they're already taking bonus damage from their attack against them. So it's tough to balance everything properly. There are a lot of levers that you can adjust, a lot of numbers that you can play with to get the proper balance, but even then, there are some racial matchups that make things difficult. The fact that those Crypt Fiends are hard hitting but slower attack is actually a real benefit for those Crypt Fiends and the type of shoot and scoot that you often see in real-time strategy games, right? Like a sniper may fire one bullet every 30 seconds to not reveal position and all of that, but at the same time their damage is could be deadly. Coming back around, a Tree of Eternity is trying to slowly make its way over here to the Expo. Acolytes are going to be trying to go for this bottom right-hand expansion, and so far no one's taken or even looked at this Concealed Hill location. We should be looking at perhaps Druids of the Talon taking to the skies if to go after these Destroyers, and there are a lot of Crypt Fiends. There's 5 Crypt Fiends out on the battlefield, but there's just simply so many more Druids of the Talon that those Destroyers could have a bit of problems. We are looking at some upgrades, but I actually can't see no upgrades for Dice's auto attack, so it's 2-1 upgrades for these Destroyers, while the Druids of the Talon in Druid form are currently still just 0-0. Average attack speed, very good range at 600 compared to 450, so those Destroyers may take a round of attacks or maybe even 2 before they're able to effectively get those any attacks off. All right, 27 to 33 damage in piercing. That is going to be very heavy indeed. Where are we going to be going as the Orbs of Venom? Now going to perhaps try to make a little bit of a play without, however, there goes a Fork Lightning going back across here. Druids of the Talon going straight after those Destroyers. Destroyer quickly down to 200 or 95 hit points. You can see how much damage is getting added up as the Druids of the Talon are trying to chase here. Are we going to see one? No, we are going to see more Fork Lightning and Frost Nova. That is the reason why, as the hero levels get higher, units with lower hit points just don't seem to be able to do nearly as much. The higher level skills or spells just instantly taking down units that are trying to counter these Destroyers in the back, pushing back the other way. 51 supply compared to 53. Druids of the Talon actually just pretty much getting popped right there. Frost Nova coupled with a couple of other spells here as damage is wrapping up. All right, Destroyers, Devour Magic trying to finish things off here. 49 supply compared to 50. Druids of the Talon are also on the ground here as we see the Lich currently up in the air. Druids of the Talon Talon, are they going to try and engage against the Destroyer? No, they're not. They should be engaging against those Obsidian statues then. They need to be into this fight, as Destroyers could get taken down. Yes, one Destroyer gets taken down. Naga Sea Witch of Dise gets up to level 4. There's a Scroll of Healing going back the other way, as the Destroyer now trying to retreat back. All right, are we going to see more damage? The Druids of the Talon can only really hit that Destroyer, as the units are now falling back again and again. All right, Web is cast down across 2 of those Druids of the Talon. He doesn't want to leave those behind. That is pretty much free experience, but not much can be done. Druids of the Talon now retreating back here. Faster movement speed. Demon Hunter teleported back home. We are getting an entangled gold mine off to the north. Demon Hunter going to quickly heal back up and now perhaps make his way over to this expansion to try and make sure that that game, economically speaking, goes all right. All right, Wisp going to go ahead and jump inside. Acolytes are very much exposed here. Meanwhile, the Naga Sea Witch and Alchemist could have a field day trying to finish off some of these units. Are we going to see some Fork Lightning? Yes, we are. There goes one. I'm going to finish off some units. One more final shot there. One Acolyte being left behind. Meanwhile, the entangled gold mine quickly going to get destroyed. A little bit of gold lost here. Perhaps we'll see some detonations. Frost Nova, there you are. There you go. Trying to detonate against all of those units again. All right, Druids of the Talon healing back over here at that Fountain of Health. Goblin Alchemist trying to save this base. Not going to be able to do all that much, as we're looking at 1 Obsidian or 2 Obsidian statues with a third one joining in on the fight again. It may really come down to those Obsidian statues constantly giving mana to the Death Knight, the Lich, and that Naga Sea Witch. Demon Hunter also not being at level 5 is a major setback. Not being able to get off level 3 mana burns to slow down the Fork Lightnings of that Naga Sea Witch. Timing is all key here. Perhaps trying to finish off one unit, as the Ancients also getting picked up to join in on the battle. 46 supply compared to 34. There's a mana burn off, and I believe that was just trying to get baited to take a little bit of that mana off there. All right, units trying to retreat back again. We see some healing spray, but well, really not hitting much anywhere here, as the Druids of the Talon trying to find where exactly they can travel to. Demon Hunter may be able to get off a little bit of damage across some of those units, as a 34 supply compared to 47. Significantly larger army for Happy. There's a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. There's the engagements to get off on the fight here. All right, trying to go after some of those units. The Obsidian statues are actually getting targeted pretty heavily, as they're getting targeted. Their hit points are dropping fast, but now no longer getting auto-attacked here. Chemical Raging Alchemist could be in a little bit of trouble. There's another Cyclone picking up and neutralizing those heroes temporarily, as we're looking at more engagement going down. Demon Hunter, Staff of Preservation for the save again. Death Knight now trying to retreat back once more. Crypt Fiend going to get taken down. Just go after those Obsidian statues. Those hit points get taken down. Dise going to lose that Naga Sea Witch there, but still trying to neutralize those heroes. Crypt Fiend's going to end up falling here, but the Obsidian statues still holding all of these units together, and that is gonna be the game. Dise has left the game there. Part of me still thinks that if those Obsidian statues had gone down, you saw the amount of damage those Obsidian statues were dealing. Towards just one volley towards an Obsidian statue, and remove that from the fight, that would have perhaps given level 3 to that Demon Hunter. But then again, the Crypt Fiends are a very big threat against those Druids of the Talon in both Crow form and also in their Druid form. The amount of damage, though, Obsidian statue takes, I believe, 22 damage from on the higher end from a Druid of the Talon. Meanwhile, a Druid of the Talon is only dealing, I believe, 5 or 6 damage against a Crypt Fiend, especially with the armor being added in as well. Let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.